a session open, or as we call it here, 600 seconds of trading. I'm using a new microphone today, so let me know what you think. We're gonna do the next 600 seconds is to provide you guys with a quick update on the markets. And my name is Alejandro Zambrano, and I'm the Chief Market Analyst here at TradeCaptain.com. Some of you guys might know me from websites like DailyFX. I used to work for DailyFX and FXCM from 2009 to 2016. And since last year, Trade Captain has been, or actually last 10 months, Trade Captain was started, and it's been going really good since then. I want to thank all of you guys for joining us every morning. The website itself hit a new record last week in numbers of readers visiting the website, and I want to thank you so much for sharing and our articles, coming and reading, and just supporting the website in general. So I want to thank you so much for that. Now what we're gonna do now is what we usually do. We can take a look at the euro, Bitcoin, gold, crude, and the DAX 30. But before we start, I need to stress that trading financial markets unfortunately is risky, and this is a genuine risk that will lose all of our invested money. As well, I'm gonna share with you guys my outlook for the markets, but this doesn't mean that you need to do what I'm saying. I'm just giving my opinion, really. At the end, everybody is solo responsible for their own trading account. Okay, good. So let's begin. And again, I'm using a new microphone, so just let me know what you think. I still have the other one here, and we use that one for tomorrow's session if you don't like today's update, the sound. Okay, so this is the euro versus the USD, and the market maintains a bearish bias, and the market has clearly moved sort of up lately, and you have this high from this is May 24th, which is Thursday last week. So this is a high from Thursday last week. The actual high of the day, actually it's even the high of the 24th. So below that level, the trend is bearish. Why? Well, because as you can see, the price is creating lower and lower highs. And yes, maybe it's just one of these moves where the market sort of extends a little bit, far more than we thought it would do. But we don't know that now, and I'm just going to remain bearish below 1750. As you know, since we took out support here at 120, 150, I've been bearish, and the market has moving down lower and lower and lower, and obviously eventually we'll have some stabilization in this market. And you can also see and learn how quickly sentiment change. It's not always like that, but sentiment changes quickly. Just a few days ago everybody was worrying about Italy. Now there's less worry. We're gonna take a look at the Italian stock market. Let's actually do that straight away. So this is the Italian stock market. This is the daily chart, and you can see how price clearly slides through support and even push below. So obviously anybody buying here probably got stopped out, but now it's moving to the upside. And the volatility, I mean, this decline, as I said just a few days ago, it's a 13.88% decline, but you've seen crazy declines in the past in this market. Just move back a bit, you see here's another one of those. So sort of the volatility you see now is not too much different. I do know that in the bond yield market, on the bond market, it's a different story, but we just need to be sensible, and the market many times just gets carried away. It's just the way it works. Now let's continue. Here's Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is trying to bounce. So as you might remember, I turned bearish here on May 10th. The market has been moving to the downside, and what I do is I track my stops. So stop goes up in the top first, then we'll move it down, then we'll move it down, and then we'll move it down, and now it's here. So not too much different than here, right? Here I turn bullish, as the market took out the prior high, and here turned bearish as markets took out the prior low. And now the market is challenging this market. We potentially have a bounce from this level here. So what you want to keep an eye on is the May 25th high. Take that out, the market can go up a bit and then probably lower, and then maybe try to push to the upside. Now I don't anticipate a major move just because the market is stuck in this triangle, and it's likely, I think, that now if we just extend this triangle, it's maybe more likely that we'll have a breakout in a few weeks, because it's probably going to go up, I don't know, maybe up until the 15th of June, and then probably down again, and then maybe July or something like that we'll have either strong move to the upside, strong move to the downside. For now though, we still cap by this level. When it takes out this level, then yes, we'll start to have a bullish bias. Here's crude oil, and crude oil has bounced. So a few days ago I said that, you know, we're trading down here, most likely it's going to go up and then give you a double bottom or take out the low and head lower. The first part is worked out good so far. We should touch the sell zone. We can measure here how much do we correct. Well, from the very high to the very low, we corrected the first fib. We could technically correct a bit more, maybe 50%, maybe up to 61.8, but as long as you trade below 71.17, I think this market's gonna head to the downside again. So we're not out of the woods here. If one is short here, we need to understand that the market could head a little bit higher. However, though, looking at this today, it wouldn't surprise me to have at least a bit of a corrective move, and then we'll see if it goes up again or if it just goes down, up, and then down. Here's gold, and I reduced the key level or the stop level on this market. The market had a very strong breakout. You can see it on the daily. So we had, technically we had the breakout already here, okay, and then down and up, but I got bearish myself when we took out this level here, so around 1301. Initial stop loss for this position was up here, so risking about $25 to potentially make 37. So that's a sound risk to reward ratio. 37 over 25, that means 1.5 times our risk. Now what happened is that the market did move to the downside, so it did move down lower, but now, as you can see, moved all the way up and then pushed down lower again. Technically, if we're gonna follow the trend on the daily chart, I have still a downtrend, so there's nothing wrong with just being short at these levels with a stop on the other side, but this is taking its time, and I have a suspicion that if we take out this high from last week, which is the 1308 level, that the market is gonna push a little bit higher, maybe 1320, in worst case get stopped out. We have also the idea that time is money, and we have allocated money here to something that is not performing, because the idea was to sell already on the 15th. It's been more than 2 weeks, so I reduced my stop loss quite significantly here, or my trend defining level. So we're now running a risk of $7. Let's make it 8, so 8 over 25. So we have 32% of the total risk still in place. If it trades to the upside, it'll probably head higher, as I just mentioned, and then we would just need to take it from there, but most likely up, and then maybe boring for a few days, and then maybe some news that just pushes it to the downside. But here the momentum is not really in the market, so I don't really see the value of being short. Here's the DAX, and the DAX, as you might remember, trades to the downside, and now it's correcting. And the idea I mentioned to you guys yesterday was to sell up here. So far it's looking alright. Fib from this high to this low shows that we corrected 50% of the move. I think we could easily move to the upside, but I think we're probably gonna head a little bit lower, and then we'll just need to see what's gonna happen. In the big picture, the market is trading sideways, so it's difficult to have a very strong view. If we would take this information here, then the idea is to buy down here, maybe book profits up here. So maybe we'll still have a little bit more to the downside here. And for now, as long as we're below 13,034, I'll remain bearish with the suspicion that this market could head to the downside. And that, guys, concludes today's market update. The only thing I want to say is that there was some news that maybe already on Monday the US is going to reinstate tariffs against the EU. So as you know, EU was exempt has been exempt from the tariffs, but this was just it looks to me that it was just on the idea that if the US could manage to get some favorable trade deals, they're just looking for some exchange for US products to be sold to Europe, I guess, easier, and vice versa. To give you an idea, in China, I think China saw some comments that maybe the Chinese is going to start to import coal from the US. Maybe the Americans would like to be able to sell their modified meat, genetically modified meat and things like that. In Europe we have restrictions on that. Maybe they want to have that possibility to do that. I'm not really sure exactly, but they're looking for some sort of a deal, and they haven't really received the deal they're looking for. So the way it looks right now, maybe you know, trade war is gonna take over and again be sort of the dominant phase. And if you look at the DAX, at least, you know, it's just trading sideways. It's very difficult to say what's gonna happen next. So in this market, there's no reason to be too bullish or too bearish, especially more in the middle, rather buying at the lows or maybe selling at the highs. Okay, so this concludes today's market update. I'll be back tomorrow, same time here. If you have any questions, just let me know. Good morning, Antonio. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Antonio, what do you think about the sound? Is it any good? Let me know. Here as well, if you're watching, don't forget to hit the like button. Okay, good. Alright, thanks. Alright, good. So we're gonna wrap things up here. If you want to reach out to me, my Twitter is AlexFX00. I also suggest that you follow us on Twitter. So this is the Twitter handle of Trade Captain, which is TradeCPT. And here's actually my my username. So AlexFX00. But the Trade Captain, the main account, is called TradeCPT. Here you follow me because you know you have a special interest to my analysis, my view on things. Benefit of Trade Captain CPT is that you're gonna see Nathan's updates. You're gonna see the updates by Debarati and Vivek as well. And also Yuri's content is gonna be in this feed as well. So this is the main feed where literally all of the content that we publish is published. Even my stuff like this one here. You can usually see, I usually use, it says my name in the top, but you see the coloring of my charts, whereas the team uses green and red, and Nathan is usually going to use MT4 charts. The same coloring like mine, but MT4 charts. Alright, have a good day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.